Oh boy.
Yes, I saw it moved.
It moved.
It moved, yes.
Okay, let me go.
In energetic form, Google for it. You have a link to Hundershot Replication. And when you go right a little bit below, you're gonna see two links to the original material of his time, 1926. There are two links in here. First one, the Hundershot motor history. And the other one is Secrets of Perpetual Motion, Hundershot Mystery by Barry Hilton. I'm gonna be referring to the first one. Quote of the article when Hundershot was at the age of 56. I have had the utility engineer's material before overall component radio and electronic man. They say the diagram of the connections are definitely within the radio band of the frequencies. They comment that the device would undoubtedly work if close enough to a powerful radio transmitting station. I also know of several who have been trying for months to make something out of the prints, but so far have failed to do so. The men are trained in electronics. End of quote. Colman 1956 patent states exactly the same, radioactivation of compound. So where is Hundershot compound? Young scientists of Henderson time, Dr. Hofstadter announced that he found concealed one of the models of carbon pencil battery in his device. And of course, press dropped Hundershot completely. It's probably somebody helped them. We don't know. Now, if you're talking about a pencil battery of their time, they might have been using a compound that was very much similar to Colman compound and could be activated by the radio waves, as I did in my lab, and I confirm workability of Colman device from 1956. That's tube number 2.
Do you have some like needle or something like that? Small?
Small needle?
Like
my wife does
just something so I can put a couple of them inside.
Oh, I see. Hold on. I'm gonna find something. Hold on.
Quote, a Washington DC newspaper carried a story on March 9, 1928, relating Hundershot was recovering in Washington hospital from a 2000-volt shock sustained while demonstrating his device into the office of his patent attorney, presumably the interested capital. I have in my office, in my file, letters from newspaper, along with one, the leading Pittsburgh daily papers, which states that Hundershot was not taken to the hospital for any such shock treatment at all, but for a lunacy test. Strange as it may sound, Hundershot was not found guilty and was released. One is often quite surprised at the tip of justice. Doesn't that ring the bell of 1896 meeting of Nikola Tesla with J.P. Morgan? Now have his legacy, the Chase banks. After that, Tesla was ruined. So the Hundershot time, being insane, is to be guilty of being insane and supposedly being in closed facility. Well, doesn't anybody make a point here? Here is more revelation. Number 704.306, filed in July 20, 1901, Thomas Edison patent. The claims cover specifically combination of finely divided copper negative plate and nickel or cobalt oxide mixed with flake graphite as a positive plate in alkaline solution. The construction is substantially the same as Edison nickel-iron battery, with the substitution of finely divided copper for the iron. There you go, guys. The pencil battery was using exactly the same substances as used in 1956 Colman patent and could be activated by radio wave. Colman delivered a working device. I've checked the device works. The activation of the compound that is non-radioactive due to the electromagnetic wave is 100% working. Please look for another link, research.com, for Harold Colman and Ronald Gillip's power generator. This is Harold Colman original schematic. On the left-hand side, you see two electromagnets. Electromagnets are not for increasing the beta activity, but just to spread beta activity. It's a controlling device, work as a gas pedal, or rather gas pedal in connection with the brake of your car. If you deliver more electromagnetic field in it, you have more electromagnetic field. Actually, the magnetic part of it is important, and then the less of the action in the compound is present. To the right of that schematic, you see the coil, the yellow one, and the lead capacitor. Could be any capacitor. As you see, both of them makes parallel circuit. The two posts that you have on the right hand side are for the external antennas, but it might be either or. You can have two antennas connected directly to the tube or to the post. On this schematic, you see the quartz glass tube, 45 millimeters long and 5 millimeters inside, with the chemical compound in it, non-radioactive again. And you see two antennas from the red caps of the tube, which is supposed to be brass. Then at the bottom you see two posts, and those are also showing the antennas. It is either or. At the base of the device you see lead capacitor. Could be any capacitor and doesn't have to be in the base. On the right hand side you see the side view of the coil, and doesn't show the connection to the capacitor below in the base, and then two electromagnets that slow down the action. And you see lead shield. And this is the chemical composition of the 45 millimeters long glass tube made out of the quartz glass, which shows about 30 milligrams of total substance that creates electricity. It's a chemical mix that could be made out of 14 layers of the compound. The original recipe for it is in the original patent of Colman, and it works. Quote from original patent of Harold Colman, 1956. It is mounted in a tube of non-conducting, high heat resistivity material, which was the glass, quartz glass, and is compressed between granulated zinc at one end of the tube and granulated copper of the other end. The ends of the tube being closed by brass caps and the tube being carried in a suitable cradle, so that it is located between the poles of the magnet. The magnet is preferably an electromagnet and is energized by the current produced by the unit. So first you have to start it, and then you can use the current to sustain the motion. That means that conveying the waves of the mixture may comprise a pair of antenna which is exactly similar to the antenna of the transmitter, normal, unit for producing the waves, each antenna projecting from and being secured to the brass cap at each end of the tube. So you could either connect those antennas to the end of the tube or to the post. The device contains parallel resonance circuit tuned to the frequency of activation. Here is the original mixture, chemical mixture of the compound from original patent of Harold Colman, 1956. Easy, very easy to replicate. Colman stated in his patent that with the quartz tube having an overall length of some 45 millimeters and inside diameter of 5 millimeters and containing 30 milligrams of the chemical element, the estimated energy which will be given off from the tube for the discharge of 1 hour is between 100 to 110 volts at 10 amps. Wow! To enable the tube to give off the discharge, it is only necessary to operate the transmitter at desired frequency for a period of some of 15 to 30 seconds duration.
Tiny.
It's a little bit too much, too small. It's not even taking the layer.
Yes. Let's do like that.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's try this one.
that's, what is it now? Zinc?
Zinc.
So we put copper, we put what? Was the second one?
The chemicals,
Yeah.
and then we put some zinc.
Oh, yeah, but the chemicals was what?
All together, like phosphate, cobalt, and
Oh, the black one is already
yes, the mixed.
mixed. Try to cover at least the layer.
So it won't make any. Last time we made some. Last time we couldn't achieve the. It was too much carbon. Probably the current.
That's copper?
It's copper now. This is what exactly the patent is telling us to do. Yes.
That's copper, more copper, right?
Yes, more copper and
Hold on.
Another quote: the transmitter unit is of any suitable conventional type for producing ultra-short waves and may be crystal controlled. At that time, yes, that was the easiest way to ensure that it will operate upon the desired frequency without necessity for tuning. If the transmitter is only required to operate over a short range, it is may conveniently be battery operated, but if it is to operate over the greater range, then it may be operated from suitable electric supply such as mains. Again, if you envision that to work for the boys, it's a milliwatts in the antenna to activate it. Here is your free energy, guys. Don't touch it. No, 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 no. Use all of this contaminants.
Oh boy.
yes, I saw it moved.
It moved.
It moved. Yes.
Okay, let me go. Gosh, I don't remember the frequency.
It was a radioactive antenna, Wesley. What you made it?
So what is the biggest sin of Hendershot? Well, like many others, greed. Something is too big to be sold, could be given. He could become one of the 10% of the people very much comfortable with manufacturing the device with others, or along with others, and 90% of the population world feeling comfortable of buying the device and using it for the next 70 years, with a total cost of operation $10.
Growing up.
You might be facing right now the historical moment in a lifetime. As close as I was possible to present, I give you details about Harold Colman, 1956, free energy device.
A bit more zinc.
That's the zinc now, right?
Yes. 516.73. 516, that's it. It's too much watt. Okay, let's see how much is 500. This is 50. But many of it stays on the paper and we're gonna lose it. No, it won't work that way. So what we can do, we can directly scale it to 0 to be easier.
Okay. Ha!
But this is more than 20 grams, unfortunately. So this only gives you 20 grams.
No, but then we're not gonna have. Okay, try that. But then
This is how many grams? 8 grams.
8 grams.
And then we should pour on it. Should be a tiny spoon like this. This is something that your hands should not be. Can you do that, Wesley, you think?
How about like
This would never.
but if you put too much of it?
This is 100. There's something wrong with the calculation. That
Okay.
much of it, that much of powder is. No, we cannot get 15 of it.
Too much?
Too much? Did I make the calculation wrong? It's too much. Oh, and they're asking like. No, it's because maybe this part is kind of big. part is the hard part. There is the way that we can cut this part to the minimum.
To the minimum is not gonna hold.
It's not gonna hold.
It's not gonna hold. The whole purpose is that you put it in and you twist just a little and it holds. Just a little twist. See?
Yes.
Now it's hold.
But we got the part. This should be. It should be.
Right now you put too much, right?
Maybe. But what is the idea of this one? Can we measure that again? It should be 4.8.
Hold on. Documentary. Okay, directed to what I'm doing. So I'm screwing from one side. I'm screwing from one side. Screwing it from one side. Now what I do is, because I have a flexible in here. Okay, how about if I speak a little bit further from the microphone? That might be due to the very unusual antenna that I'm using. Is it clear more right now?
It's a little bit better for me, and you said you're trying a different antenna?
No, I was doing a scientific project and I connected. I'm using 45 millimeters long glass pipe at the inside diameter of 5 millimeters with a powder in it, and I'm able through the repeater on the frequency of 448700 transmitting frequency connect to the Orlando, Florida. So in other words, I was using that tube only with nothing connected to it, connected with two short leads, about 5 centimeters each one, to the coaxial cable, and the end of the coaxial cable was connected to the transmitter working on 70 centimeters. And then I find out something strange happened.
Try to put as small as possible.
Yeah, so in other words, we had some changes about 140, 150 megahertz, but when I put the 140, it didn't have the reaction at all, and the Geiger meter doesn't show any radiation at all. Okay, I see the response. Okay. Now, releasing the button. Look, this is my two hands. Look. And see if we're gonna have aftershock. Still didn't return to zero. Almost returned to zero. And with the other hand, I'm gonna do it. Okay. Doing it again. 25 watts, 25 watts, 25 watts, 25 watts, 25 watts, 26 watts. Okay. 26 watts. Okay, and frequency of transmission 448,870. Now what is happening with the meter is that when I'm pushing, now I have a sort of clear picture. Check. Hey! This is by itself. I didn't touch it. Let me check if this is hot. No, this compound is completely not hot. And I'm not having zero here. God, how can I make this? Hold on. And the final moment is validation of the technology of Colman from patent of 1956. That is no longer protecting, and anybody could use the technology. I, Wesley, state the technology works as independent. New future for humanity.
7 pounds of its own weight. The physics of it is a self-resonation of what they call ferromagnetic and piezoelectric barium titanate through a power amplifier and broad and narrow bands of electrical energy going into this crystal. So the applications of this in advanced applications using free energy or zero-point energy to power it with.
He's mentioned barium-based material, which is one of the components of the Army experiments. Now he's showing the compound which is active by itself, and he is connecting the small motor into it and showing that the motor is working. Now there is no such device of something that is working from nothing. The energy must be there and must be in form of the unstable molecular structure of nuclei. And at this point you see Army influence document standing about Army being interested with those findings. He mentioned something about confiscation of his lab. You gotta go to the specific. I'm not in conspiracy theory. But after this finding, the Fort Mammoth of New Jersey start to work for Navy with that. And here's the example of transmutation of the material based on, I assume, radio waves from the high power amplifier at a given frequency. And of course levitation that happened. You can see that. Hypnosis frequency being associated with the thermal action. The following is provided for the purpose of scientific investigation, is only directly attached to the subject of that discussion and not to any event that somebody may attach to it, or it might see from my words that is attached. Secrecy Act of that was taken in 2004, few years after September 11. As you see, 300 to 470 megahertz frequency was used to transmutate the material, ferrite material, where manganium ions replace iron, and then 550 to 585 megahertz to manganium replacing zinc. Well, that's what I use in my compound. That's what Colman used, and the only difference to Hundershot was that Colman, in addition, used phosphorus-based substance. So what is the connection? Why am I switching to ferrites? Look at that. Computer-driven generators, one more time. This is the only signal that is delivered to the device. When we start to hammer the device with a spark, that is drawing approximately 15 watts, getting 1 kilowatt of power, ready to be used by the load. One more time, please look at the B-filter. Two windings, 15 and 50 watts on one side, and B-filter from the other side. Recommended 150 watts on it. Now you see it working right now. Now the discovery as of today, again, two pieces of paper put in between two halves of the ferrite that made it happen, but another one was on its way. In the last video, I suggested to concentrate on the dipole antenna with a coaxial cable inside, where one half is active, the other one is not.
And we must connect for a gap counter, but still working. As we just find a couple minutes ago, we need paper between series. We have better output.
So you see the two pieces of paper being put in between two ferrites, which improves the performance. Regular dipole antenna has the active element and counterpoise for the balance on it, and we were able to eliminate the ground wire by simply putting another wire on hanging by itself, although we didn't have the impedance match at that point. So it appears right now that in Lithuania experiment we've been using the old yoke ferrite from the old TV Rubin that has a component of cadmium, phosphorus, zinc, copper, and for the exact recipe, look at the Colman patent. There you go, guys, but there is more revelation into it. Now, the following is not going to be associated with anything that I said before. It's just for you to see it. Colman technology does not contaminate and doesn't give or leave any trace after the compound is not working. No traces. And this part is not associated with any subject discussed. It's entirely up to you to see it. You see the examples of Hutchison transmutation, angelification of the material, and a bit the Husseini connection with the historical events of 9/11. This is your business, not mine. You see in here a knife being injected into the metal, no melting. Another one, John Hutchison. John Hutchison. Can you believe radio frequency does it? Activate something? Okay. The coin we submerge in metal, no melting. John Hutchison. No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment.
No comment. No comment. This material, legal statement, is not associated with the subject of the discussion again. I have no responsibility of any connection somebody might make. I smile. Sad. That's what you see here is just my experiment. Confirmation of workability of Colman. Patent 1956. To close the edge of the pipe. When you put you put on mill on lathe only that squarish part. Now you trim or skim only 70% of that squarish part. Of that part. Cannot go further because it's gonna fall down because this is the hole in here. So then you put that into the end of the pipe of millimeter. Now, as a compactor, I use this drill bit, and I was punching it. In here you have a label. The last connection that I would like to make in the chain of data that I'm giving you is Tariel Capenaz. You see me sitting with Tariel Capenaz. He promised me at that time that he's gonna give the technology to humanity for free. Never did so. Then we were poisoned, of course, in a plane, as I said before, and Tariel Capenaz was semi-conscious. I was very much sympathizing with him. Then there was a show a few hours before my flight, as typical, given by his associate, I know the name, and the device worked as desired. Everybody was thinking, why it's working? So the suspicion of mine is that there is a very small tube, Colman tube, that is hidden inside and giving the electricity. That's what is happening here. That's it. You see the light on, triggered from one spark only. And now the legal note. You are not responsible for your action. Do not use it or build it nor play with it ever. Additional comment not associated with the first one. You see the comment. So, the choice is yours. You can use all of this contaminate that make our planet getting into the trouble. But it's your business, not mine. I have to adjust to whatever is around. Wesley, thank you very much.